I've been playing Punishing Grey Raven on the European server almost since the launch, and while the core gameplay is very different from Arknights, it still has many quality of life features and types of content that Arknights could benefit from having. Starting off is the way how PGR handles stamina, which is its equivalent of AK sanity. After playing for about 4 weeks, I'm level 68, and my stamina is at 160, with 1 point of it refreshing every 6 minutes, which is the same speed as Arknights. That means I don't have to worry about logging in for almost a full 16 hours. Meanwhile, I'm level 120 in Arknights, which is the max level, and I only have 135 sanity. What that means is that it takes less than 13.5 hours before I cap, so for that very reason I'd like to see the level cap, and therefore sanity cap, increased in Arknights. Even 5 extra sanity would make a lot of difference in that department, while also offering a bit more value per refresh, not to mention everyone would benefit from additional level up sanity refreshes. Second thing is how well PGR balances out the length of the different types of content compared to Arknights, where it's not always optimal. The grinding stages usually take less than a minute per run, with some going well below 30 seconds, while the more challenging stages take longer. In Arknights, on the other hand, the grinding stages tend to take around 2 minutes or sometimes even longer. This might not be that much of an issue for people that don't refresh, but as someone who does, the length is often very restricting, given the amount of materials that I try to get. I don't mind the stages that are supposed to be challenging being longer, but the ones that I do repeatedly would be better off taking less time. We already had an example of a faster stage with MB6 that could be done in less than 30 seconds, and I would like to see more stages like that. Speaking of the stages, let's talk about penalties for failing a mission. PGR doesn't have that, at least for now, and the challenge stages in Warzone or Phantom Pain Cage don't even cost stamina. You can repeat them over and over until they have their respective resets. Contrary to that, in Arknights you lose 1 sanity point when you fail a stage, from the second failure onwards, or half of the stage cost in case of the challenge modes. While we do have practice plans that allow for runs that don't cost sanity, we only get 30 per day, and challenge modes eat up 3 per run, which means only 10 runs of those per day are possible. I once had a situation where the game crashed while I was doing a challenge mode, so I lost a lot of sanity in a situation that I had no control over. I understand that the current setup has been the same since the beginning, but I would like to see at least us getting more practice plans per day, or have the CM cost reduced to 2 instead of 3, and maybe reduce the CM failure penalty to 1/3 of the stage cost. We got tens of new stages added since the release, but the amount of practice plans did not grow accordingly. Next thing is the non-event content. Aside from the typical grinding stages, PGR offers a lot of challenges with Warzone, where the maps refresh bi-weekly, and Phantom Pain Cage that consists of 3 bosses with 5 stages for each, and resets weekly. Both of those modes have rotating stages, and there are weekly rewards for completing them. There is also Golden Vortex that doesn't cost stamina, and offers a lot of rewards. Meanwhile, Arknights doesn't have much to offer outside of the events. There might be a lot of stages to play around with, but there are only so many times a map can be repeated before it becomes redundant. There are also no incentives to do so. We do have the contingency contract maps that rotate daily and don't cost any sanity, but they lack most of the risks from the proper CC event, including the tier 3 ones, and they don't give any rewards for the completion outside of the first time clear. This is an area that could be improved on. For example, the daily maps could get their old tier 3 risks and offer small rewards for completing them daily, risk 8. Say 500 LMD, 1 blue XP card, and 1 Rhodes Island supply crate per day. I personally would like to see New Street brought back at least partially to its former glory, and getting a small bonus for playing it would be an icing on the cake. It was a very sandbox-like map which made it unique and fun every time it appeared as the event daily. Events are worth talking about as well. In PGR, the current event lasts a bit over 1 month, with the banner for the new characters lasting almost a full month. The boss stages open on the second week of the event. In Arknights, however, the big events typically last 2 weeks, with the third week leaving the store open for exchange, and challenge modes opening on the second week. There was one exception with Dark Knight's Memoir lasting 3 weeks and having the EX stages open since week 2 as per usual, so we had 2 weeks to complete them. It also had an Annihilation type stage added on the third week, but it was the only one opened this late. The Samurai Carnival that is currently taking place on CN will also last for 3 weeks total, with the stages opening like in Dark Knight's Memoir. Having that extra week for grinding and challenge stages makes a huge difference, especially since there are usually a couple months between 2 big events that offer similar or same materials. And for the last one we have the dormitories. As of now, the ones in PGR are used purely for cosmetics and gifts for your constructs. The way you obtain those gifts is by getting them from those same constructs that you give them to later on. Anyway, dormitories have the events where you click on a specific construct and you get a couple of lines of dialogues from them. Plus they sometimes give you the aforementioned gifts at the end. You can also pad them. The dormitories themselves are highly customizable. Arknights is very similar in this one aspect, but the operator interaction is very limited in comparison, which means that there is no real reason to sit in the dormitories once they hit 5000 ambience, especially since it is possible to manage them without even looking at them directly. Adding more interactivity options to the ops in the dormitories, maybe with small chance of receiving a small gift like 100 LMD or such, could change it for the better. And that's all. Do you agree, or maybe have any other ideas? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and if you didn't, dislike and tell me why. Check out my Twitch where I stream AK and PGR, and also join my Discord server. It's fun. See you next time. Bye!